So what I'll do, if good with you, I will show you what we've pulled from your YouTube channel, and then we can chat it through and talk it through.
Okay.
Just before I do that, like from a standpoint of where you're at with your YouTube channel, are you looking to kind of grow the YouTube channel to get more subscribers and more retention and see that channel grow? Or are you looking for more leads and sales? Like if we were to like prioritize one of those, what's like most important to the company, do you think?
Well, if you,
Leads and sales.
yeah, because if growth in terms of like in the typical sense of YouTuber making money from ads because they have lots of followers, no. I mean, we make a little bit of money on the account, but it's really leads and sales there. And grow it. We've been growing it organically. I'm sure you saw it. We've never advertised on this channel, but
Yeah.
we want to expand now. Part of the reason I wanted DJ to be here because we want to look into going into advertising, not just rely on organic leads that we are doing now. And we
Great.
did in the past advertise, but not in YouTube, mostly in Google and
Okay.
Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, just so you know, I'm going to be looking this way as I focus on the computer because that's where I'm going to share my screen with you. So if I'm looking off camera, it's only because I'm concentrating on the sheets. So let me share my screen with you, and then we'll talk it through together. Let me know if you can see like a basically what looks like a big spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So what we've done here is we've from your YouTube channel, we've brought through every single video that you have in your channel, I believe. If there's more than 500, it'll take the top 500 viewed videos. So I don't think we took that many. I think we took 322 videos have been pulled in, or about 316 or something have been pulled through.
Yeah.
We'll go through these columns and I'll explain what they all mean. And we've got these filters in place as well. So if we want to filter out some of the videos, we can do based on like if they're brand new videos or they've got less than 300 views or they're over a year old and you're kind of like, well, we've kind of moved on from that type of content. Perhaps we can kind of exclude some of that content. Or if we wanted to just look at like certain length of time of video, we can add these filters on as well. So as we look at this data, we can explore it. But if we open up this one, this first column here is in dark blue is kind of isolating your best content. And because you're focused on mainly on leads and sales, retention is going to be, is paired really accurately to typically with high retention normally means much higher chance of generating leads and sales. Things like adding subscribers and things is normally like good engagement and it's always going to grow your channel and have a byproduct of helping you grow your business as well. But retention is probably going to be the most important focus to kind of understand what sort of themes of content give you good results. So what we can do here is, if you look in this column here, you're going to see how long does the average viewer watch of the video. So anything in green, like bold green, is like an outlier. It's a positive outlier. So it's 2 standard deviations away from the mean. If you are familiar with your math days back in the past, so it's kind of like it's far outside the kind of the bell curve, so to speak, of your performance. So anything in like bold green has got really good performance according to your data. Anything in lighter green is 1 standard deviation away from the mean. So still an outlier, but not as powerful as the bold greens. And then anything in the white is more of your standard average type content. And there's going to be some in red down here at some points, which is kind of like where if it's bold red, it's a negative outlier, like 2 standard deviations away from the mean, and this is 1 standard deviation away from the mean. So you can read into, it's just benchmarking your own content. So you're always going to have some outliers that are really good and really bad. It's just the way that the data is going to be pulled through. But what I like to do to begin with is just rank it by like what's the strongest content for retention. So we can start to see here that it looks like, and this is really interesting because all these videos are of like the 10 to 15 to 16 minute mark, it looks like, which is interesting. But we can find often that you've got really strong engagement or kind of retention here from this type of content And so what's useful about this is it's just to kind of give you a bit more of a feel of like what content tends to get people to like really stick around for a long time. And these are really strong numbers, by the way. So this is really good. So a lot of how-to content is in here, but obviously talking about tax deed sale work in Florida. Well, actually, because I'm not so familiar with this content, you obviously will know a lot better than I will. Is there anything that's jumping out to you about this particular content here that may be different or strikes you as kind of interesting compared to what you may be expecting, or kind of anything that confirms a few things?
It covers the history of the account. Yes, like you took all the videos at the time.
Yeah. So this is all data. If we want to
Yeah.
exclude any old videos, we can do. Or if we want any brand new videos or any lower view counts. So if we took out the lower view counts, okay, it's going to take out this video because it's not got that many views to it. So it's going to be paused out now because I've excluded any videos less than 300. But these ones are still there.
Yeah, no, it's what we kind of feel like it's popular. Well, the only thing here is that because it's not seasonal, but it's these lien tax deeds are sold at auction, and some counties, some states do their auction once a year. So there's a surge of that, about that topic. Like if we're talking about a state that, like I saw Pennsylvania, is Pennsylvania a tax lien or tax deed state? It's kind of odd, but I don't know. What do you think, DJ?
Yeah, it's interesting. It must be people that were searching more in that one.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania has some strange rules, so that's maybe why people Pennsylvania. So I wouldn't say that we would think these are the general topics people would be interested in. I mean, we try to work on our end to try to figure out what people are going to be seeking or searching, what's going to be interesting for them. So, but it's good to know, okay, those are the benchmarks that pull the best, watch viewer time. So we can go back and look at those themes and say, what else can we do, that's close to that theme. I think that's a good, it's definitely helpful from that standpoint to see from your standpoint, hey, these are your best, engaging videos at this point. We should look at those again and to see what other content can be produced that's very close to that. That seems to be what's pulling the best view time. So that's good to know.
What's particular, Tom, about this channel, so you know that, because I haven't seen many channels on YouTube that does that. But right now we have 342 videos, and every single of these videos have a title that's associated with search volume. So we never make a video without coming up with the exact string of words that has at least 20 searches per month, all the way up to whatever amount. We started with the low-hanging fruit, going after the 30 to 100 searches per month. But every single one of these have a volume in a Google search. Now, we don't get volume from YouTube. At least I don't know how to do it, but
I get it. Yeah. Well, the way I tend to look at this data is like, if there's something in here which is like very state specific, like Florida here, for me, I feel like, okay, cool. Well, that could be great for Floridians and great content for them, and that's probably why you got high engagement or high retention, because it's probably like this is directly relevant for them and they're likely to watch a lot of that. But if I see content that, let's say, for example, how do property tax auctions work, and it's a very high retention, it's like that's a bit more of a broader content for a wider audience as well. And if that tends to resonate really closely with your customer types, and you think you've actually got offers off the back of that, or you've got at least an angle there that you can use to pull people through, it's normally quite an indicator for us to say, all right, that's an interesting one. We can keep that in mind for angles when we create content, or if we're to do an ad or something along those lines, we can kind of pull some of that insight through for some, even for the script and the storyboard and things like that.
Okay.
So, okay, cool. Another next column along, we can look at this, and it says what percentage of your viewers watch over 7 minutes. So now it's like starting to standardize all the videos together and say, right, which videos in particular are great at getting people to watch over 7 minutes. And we choose 7 minutes for two reasons. One, normally because it's a really good marker for someone to get to know, like, and trust you and consider buying from you. But the second factor is it's really good for a YouTube algorithm as well, because if you get someone to watch more than 7 minutes and you get a lot of people doing that, you're far more likely to show up in their suggested videos, which is where a lot of like source of traffic comes from. So these ones kind of up here, standardized to 7 minutes. These are the ones that kind of like are doing really well by comparison for the 7 minute mark. So anytime you see double green, that's what I love to see, because it's like, cool. You're seeing like not only high viewer watch time, but also if you standardize all the videos to 7 minutes, they're also performing really well. So something along these lines where it's, and again, it's just purely data. So we probably want to look at this and then say, is there how do you pronounce it? Is that Maricopa County?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's in Arizona, so it's one of the biggest taxing auctions in the United States. So that's why it's very popular.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, fine. So that might be relevant for a wider audience, but also may not be. You know what I mean? So I won't know necessarily, but there may be some things like here, for example, this content, how to make residual income from real estate, really high percentage of people watching past 7 minutes, and that for me feels like that could be a very good angle to promote. I would have thought like lots of people are looking to make money from real estate, and if that's something you do sell, then that's very closely aligned to it.
How did you come up with the 7 minutes? Is that by experience, by a study, by intuition?
It's a blended price point, a marker. So we kind of looked at it from I tried to do as much analysis, and I come from a psychology background, to be like, right, what time or length of video do people need to watch before they can consider buying from you? And did a lot of research on it. There was never any kind of like hard 7 minutes is what it is, and of course it's very difficult to define that. But it seemed to be like anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes was kind of like that timestamp whereby if someone's watching for that period of time, you are likely to be really influencing them and they'll never forget you at that point, if you can get them to watch that long. But also it's kind of like, so that's one part is the psychology of the customer potential, or the viewer becoming a customer. And the other part of it was also the algorithm aspect. So I talked to a lot of like organic people, and they're like, mostly conversion, 7 minutes tends to be that kind of sweet spot where if you can get someone to watch 7 minutes, then those suggested videos, your video is far more likely to be suggested to other viewers as well, which is where you can get a lot of traffic. So it's kind of a blend of the two as a kind of a marker, but we just like to use it as a benchmark. And a lot of videos tend to be longer than 7 minutes. We tend to find as well, so it kind of covers off quite a few videos.
Because I thought, given the attention span of people getting shorter and shorter, that 7 minutes would be sure wouldn't work on TikTok. But
yeah, for sure, right? I think the average session duration on YouTube's like up to 45 minutes now. Like, so that means people are going onto YouTube and not leaving YouTube for 45 minutes on average. So people do spend a lot of time on the platform. And I think that people do have the attention. It's just that there's, it depends on what platform you're on, I think. Like, I can find myself watching a video for an hour easily on YouTube sometimes, if I'm kind of engrossed in the content. And normally it's like some Joe Rogan podcast where I'm finding out about like the microbiome of a random animal or something. I'm like, what on earth am I watching? I don't know why I'm watching this content, but I'm finding it fascinating.
But if we just did like actually 30 videos that are not on the channel yet. They're not published yet, but they mostly 5 to 7 minutes. Are we hurting ourselves with that?
No, I mean, everyone, each to their own, you know. Just because I've got a marker here saying 7 minutes, we like to do it 7 minutes, but the reason why we have this other angle here is because we don't want to just say it has to be 7 minutes. It could be any length of period of time, you know, like it could be much longer, much shorter, but 7 minutes is holding it to a benchmark, which we feel like if it was any shorter, let's say for example it was a 3 minute video, I probably wouldn't want to use it as a promotional piece, because I feel like if we're to put ad spend behind that video and it was 3 minutes, we had so much more potential to have them watch a lot longer, you know. So I wouldn't want to be like, hey, we spent this money to get you to here and then you only get to experience our brand for 3 minutes. I'd prefer to be like, we got you here and you are likely to spend 10 minutes watching this video, so let's let you watch 10 minutes and you're far more likely to become a customer at that point.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So the next piece is where you can, if you are interested in like really promote, like getting your content even stronger, you can then start to look at like, right, what's going on in these videos. There's like, if we break it down into 90 seconds, and then of those people that watch past 90 seconds, how many people watch past 7 minutes? This is the point where you can start to see, right, well, here's some of your best intros. And again, we can rank this. This is great for ad content as well, because we can sometimes look at this and be like, look, here, according to your data, is your strongest intro. You've got 78% of people watching past 90 seconds. That's a lot of people, by the way. That's a really good score. So we can kind of look at these videos and be like, what is it that's happening in this video that's making people watch past 90 seconds? Because maybe we should copy or at least borrow some of that insight for other ads you might want to create in future. But then you can also look at like, what body of the video. So of those people that got past 90 seconds, how many people hold on for 7 minutes? And when you get like, again, double green here, this is a really good indicator to me to say it's a strong intro, people are still hanging around, so it's good content. So how to get a clear title on the tax deed, it tends to be something that really resonates with your audience. And not only do they want to watch past
that's a very specific topic though, Tom. The reason I think that content works so well, it's a pain point for people. So in our business, if people get the actual property at an auction, then you have to actually clear what we call the property title, right? So if you got a pain point for this person, because now they're like, oh, I got a challenge with my title, I have to learn how to clear it. That's why I think that content is very engaging, but it's very narrow. It's 2% of our audience, maybe, at best.
Got it. Yeah. And this is the beauty of discussing this. You know, like I have the data here, but you have the human element to it. So we can kind of disqualify some areas. We're like, that's not a great video for a broad concept for your customers. Great. That's like we can click here and we can eliminate that data and it'll refresh the rest of the data. But we can look through here and be like, sometimes you see like this. Sometimes you actually see a green and then a red. And when that happens, where you get like a pretty good intro and then like by your standards, a bad body, it feels like it could almost be a bit like clickbaity type thing where people are like, they click into the video, they kind of like the first 90 seconds and they're like, oh, hang on a second, this has got boring very quickly, I'm leaving. As how to do a quick claim deed in Georgia. Okay, fine, I don't know that content. But if that content's not that strong, maybe that's just the way it's going to work. You know, it could just be that it's a very specific message to a few people, so lots of people leave. But it could also be, sometimes you get like a red, like, so you also get this scenario sometimes where it's like not the best intro, but people love the content. And this is how much do I need to invest in real estate if I buy tax deed properties? I presume that's kind of a bit more of a broader message.
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that's a strong content. People love the content, but it could do with a new intro. So it could almost be like you could create new content and just put a new intro on it and borrow from what you did in these videos. You know, like up here, you probably got into the content a lot quicker or put some claims at the start of the video or whatever it might be. But down here, maybe the intro is just a little too slow, and hence why people might be leaving. It's not horrendous. It's still a really good 90-second score, but by your standards, could even be better, you know.
Would you, if you redid the content, would you put up a second video or would you replace the existing?
I'd keep the existing one you've got. I'll just do an updated version.
Okay.
Something I recommend for people to do when it actually comes to creating more, we tend to take a kind of a paid organic route to get started with anybody with YouTube ads. And when we're working with clients to kind of create their content, if they've already got like a piece like this where it's like great relevant content and you know people love the content, it's just the intro is not very strong, we sometimes say, look, do another version, do an updated version, like a 2022, 2023 version or whatever you want to call it, or take some more stuff that you're kind of learning here and apply it to this new video to make it even better. One of our clients has got a really long video, like 45 minutes, that's really strong, and we're recommending he's breaking it up into 3 parts. We call it triptych content. So you kind of make it into 3 episodes. And the beauty of that is you can promote episode 1, But all the people that get through to episode 2, you can build a remarketing list off, and you're like, those people are likely to be really engaged, and they've so much so they've clicked through to the second part of the 3-parter, and build a remarketing list of all the people that get through to the 3rd video as well. So you're getting this content out there. It's great for the algorithm. It's great for like lots of social engagement, because people are far more likely to comment and like when it's 3 videos, and you get a lot more engagement going. And a lot more watch time and session time across the channel. But sometimes what they do is they just break it up, and they might just put a new intro and outro on it. Or another strategy we can do is like a director's cut. So I don't know if you can see me talking to you now, as in like the little window that I'm talking through on Zoom. But it could almost be like you could present to camera, or get your presenter to present to camera, and then say, I created this video a year ago. I'm going to just update it in this video. So I'm going to watch part of it with you, and then I'm going to give you my commentary on this as well. So they go to the computer, watch the first like minute, and they press pause. And all right, actually, let me clarify what's happened recently. And then they can add their commentary to the existing video. It's like what we call a director's cut.
Okay.
And that can work really well too. So it's very easy to create more content around existing content, you know.
Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, I would do additional content. I wouldn't take down the existing content, because it's already working pretty well for you. You can just add more to it, type thing. Just put a slightly different angle in it potentially. Cool. So if you wanted to look at like what tends to get like the best body scores from your video, sometimes it goes beyond 100%, and that's because people watch like that content more than once, which is really strong when that happens. So how to make residual income from real estate, another video here. Loads of people love that content, you know, but probably could do with a bit of a different intro. So the idea here is like, I know it's just the stats and it's just the data, but normally it tells quite a good story for you to be able to use this to your advantage.
Okay. So you want that intro 70% or higher is kind of what we're shooting for, because some of those are in the 60s. Is that how we would make it stronger? Or actually, you want as high as we can get it, right? But
you want as high. I mean, this is phenomenally high. I think it might be the niche of the area you're in that's like causing people to watch it, and it might be very good presenting as well. But we've seen really engaging presenters talk to a very broad audience, and it can be like 50%, and that's their best score they've got. So it's only benchmarking your own data, you know. But for your standard, and in the high 70s, you'll be doing really well. Yeah.
Okay, so we're trying to move it up to the high 70s. Okay.
Yeah. You might here we've got the subscriber rate. Sometimes you can see some skews here. When you get like a 10%, I feel like it'll either be because it's a video that's right in the front of the channel, or it could be very, very specific, or the view count might be really low, something along those lines. So it's inflated, the figure. But if we're to score it here, I mean, it might not be so relevant for you, because if you're not looking to grow your channel, it's not so important. But yeah, here, when the subscriber rate is this high and you've got kind of like poor watch time and things, normally something else is going on, like it's being promoted somewhere, or I don't know, however it's got that high. I'm not sure if that's an ad you ran or something. But yeah, sometimes you get these like bit of a skew here when kind of like with these high numbers, but I wouldn't read too much into it at this stage. I feel like if you had like tens of thousands of views across all your videos, then it's going to be a bit more accurate. But you can sometimes look and be like, what is it that's generating you subscribers? Normally the content themes. So one thing we normally see that gets really high subscriber rate is where your video is the first in a series. You know, if it's like, feels like I'm watching the first of a series, and there's a call to action to go subscribe, just naturally people like don't want to miss out on content in the future. If they like the content, so they're likely to subscribe to get more of the great stuff they're getting.
So we did the first year, we did make an effort to promote, because we have a database. We've been around for many years. We have a database of thousands of leads. So we would email to them and say, check this new video. So that would influence that subscriber rate, and because we may had a small amount of views, but people were motivated to subscribe.
It's a hot list, and it's like they know his content already. So yeah, that would skew things a little bit. That's why I'm saying, like, when the view counts get like very high, just organically, that sort of activity will kind of like even itself out a little bit. But when you see like normally the maximum I see is like 7%. So you've got some high scores here. I would have presumed this has come from some of your email promotions or low view counts, and hence why there's a bit of a skew.
So typically, aren't you looking at 2% as a good ratio from views to subscription to followers?
Oh, it can be a lot higher than that sometimes. Yeah, like if you look at down here, like you've got some good scores down here as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're going to have low scores as well. Like down here, you've got kind of like low scores. But I've seen it up to like normally without big skews getting in the way, it's normally around about the best videos we tend to see is like between 5 and 7% of view counts. But yeah, anything above like 3 or 4%, I think is really strong.
Would publishing at least some of these videos as premiere video where we promote the upcoming release, the premiere function? Because we haven't done this yet, but we're planning of doing it and having a staff person attending the chat, even though the video is pre-recorded. It's not a live premiere, not a real-time premiere, but the chat would be. Do your client do that? Does that help?
We don't have a huge amount of people using that functionality. A lot of people just upload their content like a normal video, or a lot of people do lives as well. Like lives tend to get very high engagement, but normally only at the time of release. So the live, it gets very high retention whilst people are watching, but afterwards they don't tend to perform quite so well afterwards, unless it's like naturally designed to be a bit more evergreen. But yeah, we haven't had that many people report back on doing premiere videos.
Okay.
Like here, you're going to see a bit of a skew here. Like, so it's showing that your retention could improve from like 51% to 73%. Take it with a pinch of salt here a little bit. I think we need to work on the mathematics behind some of the sums here. But in essence, it's saying that there's like quite a lot of room for improvement here with some of your content. But your subscriber rate, if you can get your subscriber rate to 19.3%, then I'll be kind of taking lessons from you guys on that one for sure. I don't know how you get out of that high and keep it there. But it's more an error in our mathematics, but it's not an error. It's just like it needs to be dumbed down a little bit. But in essence, there's a lot of potential to improve the retention and the subscriber rate, which is great because it means that take some of the learnings here, some of the stronger intros and like create content around the kind of the themes of content that that really resonate with people. And every video you create from here on in should be a lot stronger, which is exciting. There's also something here called magic moments, which I love looking at. So what this does is it's going to show you the retention line to begin with. So this is like your viewer experience. So as you can see, this one in particular has loads of people that drop away at the start of the video, and then a few people hold and hang on. So you can see that, like, let's say, for example, this video is a great example of this. Like, so the intro is dark red, so that's why it's such a sharp drop off. But if we're to find an intro that's a lot stronger, let's go for the strongest one, it should be a lot more smooth at the top there. There you go. So it's a lot smoother. We don't lose so many people at the start of the video. And it kind of holds afterwards as well. So that's kind of showing you the retention line. It's kind of a clarification of what we looked at over here. But something that does happen is you see these little peaks from time to time. If we actually rank it, because the peaks are scored, so we can look here and say, okay, some of them are going to be skewed a little bit, and it can be because you're doing something. But often, let's say, for example, you see this one here. There's a blip there. I don't know if you can see that at all.
Yeah.
It's a little blip in retention, which means that something's happening at that point in the video that makes people kind of pay attention, basically. And it comes in, and we not only do we score it at 6, it's not out of anything because it can keep on going higher, but just they're all held to the same like scoring system, so they can be ranked. But here you can see like it happens at 7 minutes and 16 seconds. Something's happening here, and if we watch this, let me just share it so I can share my audio with you as well. 1 second. I haven't looked at this video, but let's see what happens in the video here. Can you see my video?
No.
Not yet.
Okay.
Attention, the United States.
Let me know when you can see. You should be able to see a YouTube page. Oh yeah.
No, I
yet.
think because you're sharing your Zoom screen only.
Let me try
Not
that
your
as
Zoom
well.
screen, but your.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
We have YouTube now.
You go. Okay, perfect. Okay. So we've got an ad
States
in
Federal
front.
Reserve is
One second.
having a meeting on July 27th, and a decision is
Okay.
That's an ad.
I'll learn how to make
So what this does is it takes it to 20 seconds before something happens. And then it might be not much to report back on, but sometimes we see something. So we're looking to see it comes in at 7:16. So we're at 5:56 now.
money from people that are making money. So find experienced entrepreneurs, especially those people that want to make a six-figure income. All right, so what am I talking about today? This episode is all about how can I be self-employed? Well,
Okay, so you've got like a chapter marker here anyway, which is probably why people are skipping through to that part. That's one thing. But also you just kind of, it seems weird that he's only talking about what are we talking about today, and you're kind of 7 minutes into an 11-minute video. But
how can I be self-employed? Well, I'll tell you.
that's kind of like the big question is like, how can I be self-employed? Which is kind of the question of the actual video title here as well. So I think that's probably what's happening is that people are kind of either skipping through to that part. And so a lot more people start there or rewatch that section again once they're probably scrubbing through to get to that point in the video. It's likely to be something like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes what we notice is that like you get these big peaks when people are presenting either like the scene changes. So it might be someone speaking to camera and they go and share their slides. And as they get to their screen in the video itself, like retention jumps up because like, now I need to pay attention to what's going on in the video. Or it can be like someone says a quote by someone or something along those lines, and people love to like listen to that quote again and write it down and that type of thing. So you'll tend to find that if you're to go through all these, you don't have to go through all of them, but we rank them based on scores. If you rank them, you can kind of look through here and see if there's things that are happening at those parts of the video and just make a note of them. Because then it means that if you notice yourself doing something or if Ted's doing something in the videos and they're kind of increasing that kind of like temporary increase in retention, then you can use it to your advantage because in future videos you create, you just pepper them in. You're like, we need a quote here and we need a change of scene here and we need and it makes it for a more engaging video at that point.
By the way, you're still sharing your YouTube page.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the
cool.
video froze. By the way, we heard the audio, but we never saw the picture, which is okay. We've seen them before.
Oh, okay. The Zoom have a terrible
Yeah.
screen sharing functionality. It
Yeah.
seems. All right. So, yeah, there's a point here where, and you know what, I'm going to keep on the. Can you still see the the spreadsheet now?
Yeah. Yes, we do.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Let's keep it there. Otherwise, I think I'm going to lose us all together. Cool. And then and this part here is all about like how can we go faster, basically. How can we grow the channel, but also look at like what content's likely to get you some leads and sales, or at least start that journey, so to speak. So we like to kind of just like start with a nominal fee of daily budget, just because in the early days when we promote any videos, and it's normally what we do in stage one, is we'll take some organic content that you've already created and then put some ad spend behind it, because it's the for low cost ad spend, you can actually get so much really valuable data through the door, which will tell you two things. One, what content tends to resonate well with your audience, but also if you know which keywords and topics you want to start out with, for very cheap, you can work out which keywords and topics, like what targeting types and age and gender and location and things. You can start to do small budgets, but learn so much from the targeting for very cheap. So instead of having to spend like $5,000-$10,000 to work it out, you could probably spend about $100-$200 or something and get so much data that would just set you up perfectly for knowing what content's likely to resonate, what offers are likely to resonate, and what targeting is likely to work for very cheap. So that's why we like to start in that way. But if we say like a budget of $5 per day, what you can do is you can look through these videos and check on which ones like would make sense to potentially promote. So if I was to kind of I don't know how we're ranking it at the moment. What do we do? I would do on Magic Moments. Let's rank it by view duration for a second, because retention. Oh, sorry, 1 second. So we rank it by retention. Are there any videos in here that jump out to you, be like, those would be quite good videos to promote actually? Like it tends to be a good message for your audience, or maybe kind of good for lead gen potential as a call to action in the video. Is there anything jumps out at you that might be a good video to promote?
Like what is a tax lien on a house? That's a good general topic one. That's
which
the
one was
second
that
one.
This one here?
Yeah, this is general. We had a whole bunch of people that have heard the concept of what's a tax lien certificate, what's a tax deed, but they don't really know what it is, right? They've just heard the term. So for them, that's our first sort of education step, actually understand what it is, right? So a lot of people have heard the term and say, I know what it means, but the reality is 9 out of 10 people really don't know exactly what it means. They don't understand the ramification of how it actually works, right? So that's a good general broad topic of, did they start getting engaged or something from that way? I mean, I think that's a good one from that standpoint. How to make money, is always a good one. That's sure it's going to be interesting people, from that standpoint. But
which one was that one?
That's like I think it's number 12.
This one?
Row 12.
Yeah.
So how's a claim tax sale overages?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
sir,
that would be a popular one.
you're talking about a video to promote through an ad. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. So what we normally do is like on phase one, and we recommend this to start out with YouTube advertising. And so instead of like having to start with massive budgets, you can start with a smaller budget and just learn so much over a space of about a month. And then once you've got that data, it just sets you up perfectly to then go into actual cold ad creation, and you'll know which targeting resonates, you'll know what demographics resonate, you'll know what ad content should work, and you're giving yourself the best evidence of like, cool, now I know how to get into actually running YouTube ads and for leads and sales, and do it profitably.
I understand. Actually, I'm finishing the 4th part of the course through Perry Marshall.
Yes.
And so I understand that part, but for us, like if you type, for example, what is a tax lien on a house in YouTube, chances are Ted.Thomas will be there above the fold. He'll be there in the top 5 or 6. If you type how much money can you make investing, he probably won't show up in YouTube. He definitely won't show up in Google, because a lot more is we're in a niche of tax lien. But if we do show up organically, why would we want to advertise that topic? We could, if what is a tax lien on a house, or how much, let's say for example, how much money can you make investing, because Ted will always segue that into investing in real estate, then segue that into investing in tax deed and tax lien auctions, investing at auctions. So the ad would probably be more targeted. We would look for people maybe that lost money on the stock market. Like the key, when you say ad, we're advertising based on the keywords, yes? Like we give Google ads and YouTube ads the keyword we want to target. So we wouldn't want to target tax lien, because we're already ranked for that. Anybody type tax lien in YouTube, we're gonna show up anyway. So we would want, but true. If somebody type how to recover my losses in the stock market, we would never rank for that organically. But through an ad, maybe we can say, hey, we're here, stock market versus tax lien investing, you may want to take a look at that.
Well, that's the thing. So I would say that we're only doing it for a learning experience the first month as such. Like what we want to do is choose your best content and put it in front of your audience. And it's going to tell us what keywords, and we can go quite broad with those keywords as well. So even if you wanted to approach those keywords, it might be a little larger, like even like investing strategies or best ways to invest in 2022 or whatever you wanted to do. So it's like a broader concept. You could still have, so like how does a tax lien foreclosure work? Because whilst people aren't looking for it, they may have heard of it and they might be like, actually, hang on a second, I'm not really getting the answers I want from all the videos I'm watching right now on YouTube about like investing strategies. Maybe this one might pique their curiosity, you know? And so whilst it's still a relevant video for a relevant crowd, but it might be a breakaway from the content they're used to, you know? So all we want to do is make sure that we know that content resonates, or you can always create new content, of course, as well. But we want to try and do it in such a way where we promote your best content in front of the like keywords you want to go for, and then we're just analyzing and seeing, yep, cool. Even though you're already ranking for these videos, we can follow them around. So even if you were looking for like tax lien strategies, for example, and you saw all of Ted's videos there, but then you went on to go and watch something else on YouTube unrelated to tax liens, your ads will still show to that audience. So you're almost like you're still increasing your potential inventory. You know, you're getting in front of a lot more people by the fact that they may have typed in and seen Ted's videos, but now they're seeing you everywhere during that same session. You know, so it gives you more reach from that perspective as well. Yeah, you can get a bit savvy with this and be like, right, well, we know that's really good content. Maybe even change the title a little bit if you wanted to, or create new videos, and then you can put those in front of like your ideal keywords as well. So it gives you some choices and options here. Mm-hmm. Are there any videos?
Do you want to start boosting or promote like your top 5 videos content-wise, Tom, or what would you start off with in that first month? Or
we normally suggest first 3 videos.
First 3, top 3.
Yeah,
okay.
top three. Sorry, yeah. So if you found like 3 like videos that have high retention and high engagement potentially, but also are relevant and maybe have a call to action, that's like the perfect trifactor, so to speak, to say that's a great video to start out with. If you haven't got them, you can always go create them. But if you've got them already, it's like we're not looking for perfect content. We're just looking for like, let's get started and get some of this data in. We can always look to improve it later. But the data will just set us up for tiered, like our second tier of service, basically, which is then we say, let's go write some direct response ads, like some new video ads, and let's put them in front of your ideal customers. But once we've got that data in, and we can get it from just your best content now, we don't need to have a creation of new content right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. And you're basically running $5 a day to each one of the videos for like 1 month, so you get enough data. And then from that point, the data, then you can start custom creating the direct response ads.
Precisely, yeah, exactly. I mean, you can spend more than $5 a day for sure, and normally we do, because we'll set them up on like a mobile campaign and a desktop campaign. So that'd be like $5 each for each one of those campaigns. So you can kind of you can just increase that spend across those as well. So if you wanted to spend more, you definitely could, but you don't need to. We'll get the data in regardless, you know, at $5 a day on just one campaign. But we don't want to like just do it all in one video, because if we do 3, we're focused enough, but we've got evidence to be like, that video is stronger than the other 2. So let's go on that theme of content. Tends to work better for your customers.
So you're talking about 3 videos, $5, well, $10 a day, because one promoted in mobile, the other on PC. So it's $1,000 a month basically. 3 videos is $30 a day, $1,000 a month to start.
About $900. Yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you were like, I don't want to spend $900 on promoting my content, I would understand, and we can probably do it for $500. You know, we just want to have enough spend to be kind of like, cool, we've got through that first wave of activity. I say spend
$1,000. I mean, that's the best data you're going to get. You're going to your own clients, you're following stuff. We're into testing, so I'd spend $900,000.
Cool.
But I don't think it's an issue. Yeah.
That's what I would recommend. And it's only like your first month, you know, and then after that period, you're onto growth at that point.
That
like
makes sense.
using new ads. So we've got kind of like, how does a tax lien foreclosure work? and we talked about how to claim tax sales overages. So we've got those two. Is there anything else that you can see in here that I'm trying to look at like the titles of the videos here to see if there's. What about this one? How to make money buying tax lien certificates? Would that be a good content for your customers?
Yeah. It does. Yeah, I would say it's good. It's generic enough, so that I think it would work from that standpoint. That's what most people learn about us through tax lien certificates, and then we explain what a tax deed. But that's a good video.
Okay, and what about this one here as well? How to know if a good property is a good investment?
Yeah, because I think what what I got from this, Tom, is that we want people to know, and trust Ted after a while. So if we can get them to watch 5 or 7 minutes and just open their eyes that there is this niche strategy investing in real estate, then anything that's sort of in there, if they like Ted, they'll keep watching Ted videos. If they don't like Ted, then they're going to go somewhere else. So I think that's good, general enough content that would, I like this guy,
Yep.
But I like
cool.
him.
Okay, so if we were to, there's probably other videos in here that are kind of like on point as well. But is there any between the one we've got here, how to make money buying tax lien certificates, anything else in here up until this point that seems like good content?
How is it sorted right now? Like we're seeing that the
based on retention of viewer watch.
Okay, retention of viewer watch.
Viewer watch time. Yeah. If there's any videos in here.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, my screen's small, so it's have a hard time reading the titles.
Oh, let me pick it up for you. There we go. Make it easier. What are the pros and cons of tax lien investing?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to take this California one out because I think that's going to be a bit more specific just to California. Can you sell a tax deed property?
That's a good.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's, if it's got the engagement and everything else, it's not a bad one.
I mean, it's I'll tell you the approach we view, at least from an organic standpoint, we of course we go after the niche keywords, but when we think about our prospect, we have a profile of the prospect that's very specific, like they're 45 years old plus and so on. But also when organically is we think of the keyword, the keyword that has intention, that are commerce type keywords for us, is people that are maybe in real estate, but fundamentally is people looking for a business opportunity, an income, making money basically. If the keyword is not the person who typed the keyword, they would be searching for a way to make money. Now they may already know real estate, they may already know tax lien, tax deed, or know a little bit, and they're searching more specifically about that. But so sometimes the video will rank because it's purely educational.
But I think you got to look at this from a different approach, Chris.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah,
that's
remember, this is, we're taking, you're looking at it from an SEO standpoint, which is fine, and we're looking at it from what our ideal client was. But now what we're doing is trying to attract people to the channel or to opt into our list, and then our system will filter them in or out if they're a good client or a bad client for us. So there are people here that are looking, that are searching for these topics, right? Or at least interested enough when they see it.
Well, this is the thing is that we can. So if you imagine like the SEO route of like saying you're going to be putting time and effort into getting that video ranked, we're basically paying our way to force our way in front of just our ideal candidates of customers.
Yeah.
So we're saying we'll only promote to, if you say it's male 35 plus or something, only males 35 plus will see the ad or the video thumbnail there.
Okay.
They're only that people are going to watch it. And we can even put a filter on there to be like they have to be interested in real estate as well. I don't think that's probably a wise thing from day one. I think that's probably reserve that for when it gets to more of the paid like direct response stuff.
Okay.
But in here we're like, we want to put, we know we're getting in front of the right people based on when they're typing in anything like property investing related. So we say, right, we're definitely getting in front of them. we're just like saying, which video do we want to put in front of them? That's going to get like, and when we kind of isolated, it's got great retention here, which is good. But then it's like, I'm more kind of looking for your input to say, if they watch that content, they're going to love our products as well, you know. So I've kind of put filters on here to say like, they love this content from a default position. Now it's a case of saying, of the content that's ranking, which one's the best for your business, really.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, got it. You want to tell us a bit more about your business or your offer? I don't want to take too much of your time, but
so
we're very interested, obviously. So I'd like to know more what you can do for us.
Well, the thing is, so here, what we're doing here, we're saying the videos here that we're looking at are kind of based on retention at the moment. It's going to give you a rank and a score. We've actually just updated this, so just literally yesterday. But the rank and the score is, you don't have to worry too much about this, but it's basically, we've ranked it by retention because that's best for leads and sales. Whereas this is a blended number with like your subscription or subscriber rate as well. So don't read too much into this because it's got like a irrelevant data point in here as well. But it's kind of showing you, if you just put $5 a day behind this video, it's going to get like 21 times more growth, like on a daily basis.
Wow.
This one's going to get 12.5. So you're going to see, you should see, as a natural byproduct of promoting this anyway, huge growth on your YouTube channel for very cheap, you know, and you should see these videos start to take on a life of their own and grow your channel. But I know that's not like the primary aim, but it's a nice byproduct to have, you know, along the way. And you should generate this many subscribers per month on that budget as well. So that would be cool if we can achieve that. It's not always the case. I can't always guarantee, well, I can never guarantee anything with advertising.
Right.
But you're likely to start seeing a big uptick in subscribers. So we'll keep an eye on that as we promote some of these videos and report it back to you. But I think if your main intention is to say, let's get some leads and sales through the door, what we should do in month one is do our tier 1 service. And that's where we say, like, let's isolate maybe 3 videos. And I can give you this report, by the way, and you can come back to us with like, these are the 3 videos we want to go for based on this data point anyway. So you don't have to make a decision right now and go for it. But so I can give this report to you or open some of these back out for you as well. So if you make your decision, you know that the best idea is to say, go for retention. And then month 1, what we can do is do, and it might be 2 months, but it's likely to be just 1 month of like our tier 1 service. And all you need to do is like choose your 3 videos. We'll then do a couple of things with you. One, we'll do a strategy call with you just to say, right, let's sign off some budgets. Let's isolate your perfect. Let me talk to you by looking at you for a second. So we'll isolate. We'll do a strategy call with you to isolate like which your best demographics. So males 35 plus or 45 plus or whatever kind of audience it may be. For each one of the videos you selected, what keywords and what topics might be really relevant, and then sign off on some of the budgets just so we know how much we're going to spend for that month, so we can get all the data we need coming through. And we're also work with you on getting all the tracking in place. If you're kind of familiar with that process, I'm sure you're pretty familiar with it, then easy, but we just normally go with Google Tag Manager and just in putting a few pixels in place so we can just track visits and leads and sales as well, so we just know what videos are doing what and what targeting is doing what. And we do that for month 1. And as soon as we got enough data coming through and it looks like we're getting some promising results, we move on to our second tier. And tier 2 is where we start scripting out some direct response ads. We kind of allocate some ad budget, normally about $2,000 from your side, to say, now let's go and run some of these new ads to your remarketing list of people that have already seen your stuff that we've been promoting, but also some of the best keywords and topics that we've been finding out from your tier 1 kind of stuff that we've been doing here, so to speak. And that should give us a really good starting point to be like, right, we've got great content, great ads, great targeting, good offer in place. It should get us in a really strong position to then say, cool, we've created a few ads now, normally 3 ads, test out which one works best, and then we're off and running, and hopefully we're driving leads and sales very profitably. And then we can move into tier 3, which is like a full-blown agency where we're kind of constantly creating more content and looking at all other offers you've got and just helping you kind of grow and scale from there. But tier 1, tier 2, just like as a launching model to go through that. And
do you script the direct response ad, Tom, or what? Or is that?
We can help you. We have like a service where we script those. We script 3 ads for you. So we've been doing this for 8 years now. So actually nearly 9 years now. And we've worked with a lot of different people. And when we've done that, we've looked at all of our ads that are spent over $1 million profitably. And we've taken all those top videos and then analyze them and turn them into more like script templates, so to speak. And so we've got like a template of like we've got about 15 videos in total, but the top ones have been templated. So we've got 3 top videos that we turn into templates on our side. And we just like take your data from like your credibility, your testimonials or your angles and what might work really well for you. And we apply it to that, so we can script those videos out for you, which kind of normally gives us great results. Or you could, if you like, no, we want to try out something for ourselves, then you can write the ads yourself. So if you want to do it yourself, obviously there's no charge. If you want us to do it, we'll just charge you for it. I can't remember exactly how much it is. I think it's $2,000 we charge for the scripting of that. And if you film it, we'll edit it up our side as well. So we'll have like 3 killer ads ready to go. And you can use those videos, by the way, on multiple platforms. We'll use them for YouTube, but if you wanted to use them on Facebook and I don't know about TikTok so much, but if you wanted to use it on other platforms, feel free. That's kind of like they're your videos, so to speak. From a standpoint of like the offer, let me just double check. So I just went through this with the team. We had like a team meeting today. So I'm going to make sure I don't misquote you. So we have for the working on leads and sales, like from the content to begin with in that first month, we do $1,500 for the month, which is where we would take your best 3 videos and start promoting them. Obviously, you've got the ad spend behind that, which would be about I think $900 to $1,000. I think we kind of agreed upon roughly about there or thereabouts. Mm-hmm. That $1,500 is getting all your tracking set up, running the campaigns for a month, getting all that essential data in, and getting us set up for tier 2, basically. And then when it gets to tier 2, we do like for that month, we do like a $2,000 one-off cost for the ad, running the ads for that period. And we normally say if you give us a $3,000 budget, that gives us plenty of spend to work with. And if you want us to write scripts and everything else and do all the creative service, it's $2,000. So it can work out as like $4,000 on that second tier with a $3,000 budget. And then from after that point, if we're seeing great results, then we're off and running and we can work out a bespoke deal moving forwards. Normally we try and work on some sort of performance deal moving forwards, but we'll work it out with you as we go. We just want to get you great results and then make sure we're kind of incentivized and work together to grow and scale you and then work with you like a partner as opposed to just a pure agency relationship. So that's our tier 3 model. I went through that pretty quickly, so I don't know if you have any questions or if you want me to clarify that again. I can go through that again if you wish me to.
It's recorded, so we can review.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got it recorded.
You'll be liable for everything you said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I should have got you to sign some agreements before we got on this call. But it's $1,500 as an agency fee on that first tier for that first month, and then as we move into tier 2, which is like the testing phase, do all the direct response stuff. If you want us to write the ads, it's $2,000. If you want, and then it's $2,000 on top of that for our ad buying for all the cold traffic for that period. And then we just ask you to allocate $3,000 for budget, basically. And at that point, we'll have a real clear idea of like things are working really well, and if they're not, we'll help you fix them and try and get like it might be a different offer or find a new. If we created 3 ads, we're pretty certain one's going to hit. But if it doesn't for any reason, we'll just analyze it and work out, and then give you a contingency plan and get back on track, and then look to grow and get you to that what we call tier 3 on our side, which is where we're just like full-blown agency. Let's like we're all in at that point, and let's kind of grow and scale together.
Okay. So you have any question, DJ? Any question on that?
No,
No?
I mean, I watched video. No, I got the general concept. Everyone else is good.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
So
I think it's smart,
I've already,
smart way.
yeah, and I've already got not carte blanche, but permission to give you the go ahead, the green light. So what's the next step? You're gonna send us something in writing? And
Yeah, perfect. What we'll do is we'll send you an email. It's a little late my time now, but we'll send it either tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. You'll get it tomorrow at some point with a bit of a breakdown. And if you're happy to go ahead, we'll just send out all the agreements and invoices or payment links and that type of thing. And then we'll get going. And the only thing we need to do at that point is just isolate those 3 videos, jump on a strategy call, and get going. Really, more than anything else, so we can get going really quickly, and make sure your tracking's in place and things like. So there'll be a process to that, but we'll send you an email with all the steps and what's included and things, and give you an idea of what tier 2 and tier 3 look like as well.
okay.
I think the key for us is just looking at those top 10 videos that we want to promote, and then for us just to narrow down quickly the top 3. I want to talk to a couple other team members and just make sure that we're all on the same page. But I think it won't take us very long. We can do it all within a half hour.
But also, it's the keywords that are being targeted with the
I don't
ad.
think it's so much the keyword. That's you, Chris. I'm not stuck on that.
Yeah.
I'm stuck more on the topic that's more general to them, because
But-
I don't see this as SEO. I think you're coming from an SEO standpoint. I'm not coming from
No,
an SEO
but when you run an ad, you have to tell YouTube and Google what's the keyword you want people. The ad is gonna show up only for those who type the keywords that you dictate.
Okay, well, I think the keywords in the video title. So, like for example, taxing certificate should be one of our keywords. We should be promoting that. We're trying to get the boost on and get the data from most people. That's what I understand from it.
The strategy will be very much a blend of both your approaches, really. So we can choose those the micro keywords, are saying like these are the zeroed in keywords we want to target, as well as more kind of bigger concept keywords. But also we can look at topics as well, because it's like topic targeting of like real estate investing. There's literally that topic. So it's like we should probably promote that to like males 35 plus, because all of your content will be very relevant for them. And if that works, you've got a really scalable campaign very quickly,
Yeah.
So it's a blend of both, really. But we'll just see what works best. And that's the beauty of like tier 1. We're just I'd like to say we're doing better than stepping around in the dark, for sure. We're kind of strategically stepping in the slightly dark room in tier 1, and we'll get super clarity come tier 2. So we've got to get started, get data through the door, and that will guide us on the best way to go.
Yeah, we also got a report from what do you call these agency, DJ, like a profiling agency, a consumer report type of agency.
Yeah.
So, but what we realize after getting the reports is we have already an audience, like we are a customer database that obviously is the exact profile that we were after. So we could feed that to YouTube, no? When we advertise?
Precisely. When we do our strategy call, bring that to the call, because there'll be certain filters we can put in place. So we say it has to be
Similar
a
audience.
male of this age, and there's some like nuances. We can make notes of those and be like, okay, cool. Let's see if we can isolate that. But tier 1 it tends to be a little bit broader, because we want to try and find some big wins, right? If we start zeroing in too much, we'll find lots of little wins, but they'll never be able to scale too much. So we're kind of like want to go a little bit broader, see what really resonates, find some really cool big pockets where we can get good results. And that's going to feed us all the data we need to be like, cool, we're ready for tier 2 now. We'll move through those gears as quickly as we can. We just want to make sure that we got the tracking's accurate, and we've got like all the best targeting we've tested, and it's getting good results, and we found which content themes work well. We're just setting ourselves up for success, really, more than anything else. And if we don't get success in that tier 1, we'll soon fix it. We'll work out why is that not working and fix that ASAP. So that we can say, cool, now we know what is working, let's now move on to tier 2. So we're kind of just trying to move you through the gears as quickly as possible.
Okay, all set. That's
Cool.
it.
We'll send you an email tomorrow morning our time, and then if or it might be tomorrow afternoon our time, but we'll send it across to you. And then if you've got any questions or anything you want to go through with us, just let us know and we'll jump on and chat it through.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Have a
Good
good
stuff,
night.
guys. Great to meet you guys, and we'll speak soon.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks,
Cheers,
Sarah.
guys.
Bye, Sarah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.